All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. There has been a development in the Nick Rekieta arrest case. The application for the search warrant has been released. It's not too long, looks like 11 pages. So I want to go through and see what's been going on. Now, I've been watching this very closely. Of course, I did the first stream after the arrest, and then I kind of laid low. I didn't really have anything to say. I mean, of course, I have my personal opinion. But I've been mostly more interested in seeing what people in the sector have been saying about this. And I think this Pepsi Man saying that I got to get that money ready on now. Look, I think that ultimately Nick is probably going to get out of this okay. And when I say okay, I mean that he's not going to go to jail. I have a bet saying that he's not going to be in jail because that's what I believe. Now, what is, I think, more important than the legal problem here is the social aspect, how this is going to affect his career, how is this going to affect his family, and most importantly, how's it going to affect his children. I think that's the real piece here that a lot of people are missing. And I saw some criticism of LawTube saying that like the information hasn't come out yet, this is how he can still win, the constitutional stuff and all that. I don't think that's really that important because it's a first offense. It's a non-violent crime. He's a supporter of the entire family. Most likely he'll get off with diversion or some community service, a fine, some sort of rehab program. Something like that is what I'm expecting. But what happens to him after that? What happened to, what is his name? Jack Murphy? After it was revealed that he was a grifter and after he realized that he was a hypocrite. Now, apparently the most important part of this is the case background. So we'll start off with this and then we'll go in. I'm going to read the whole thing, or I'm going to try and admit as much personal information about the children and other parties involved that aren't Nick, because I believe that they should be protected. Of course, if you want to read this for yourself, you can find it now. I'm sure that in the next 10, 20 hours, you're going to be seeing a lot of this all over the internet. So let us take a look. The case background. On May 16th, 2024, Kandiyohi, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right, County Sheriff Office Sergeant Dave Nestor received a report regarding possible child neglect and controlled substance use. Now, personally, I don't care if people use drugs. It really doesn't bother me. I think that in a free world, we should be able to use whatever we want, but you're free to hurt yourself and not other people. And I don't extend this policy to parents because it is your number one responsibility to look after them once you become a parent. A lot of people say that children owe their parents everything. I disagree with that. I think that, what did I say? That I said that children owe their parents everything? No, parents owe their children everything because children can't protect themselves and children don't choose to be born into the world. You choose to have parents unless something terrible happens to you, right? You know what I'm talking about. You choose to have children. So no matter what you want in life, no matter what your vices are, your desires, your plans, those go out the window when you have children. For better or worse, you have to become a parent. And child neglect is something that I find very, very abhorrent. So I have to say that this entire case has honestly been heartbreaking. I used to be a really, really big Nick fan. But over the years, I kind of stopped being interested in the content as it wasn't what I think I signed up for, if you know what I mean. But anyway, I'll maybe talk about that a bit later. Let's just try and get through into the meat of this. So I'll admit the residence and everything, but it is possible to find. It's not like it's a big secret. Let's see. He resides at the residence with his wife, Kayla, which is known. They have 5 children ages 6 to 16. The reporter indicated that 4 people from their church had gone to him reporting neglect to the children, possible controlled substance use, and questionable relationship with an additional couple. Now, this mostly confirms what we've already heard from Aaron. Of course, he did a big guest spot on the Keno Casino. I think he's been doing the rounds. A lot of people been seeing that maybe he's making it up. And I think that his story is exaggerated quite a bit to make himself look good. And it's pretty hard to make himself look good in that story. But the fact that they were like this throuple, polycule, whatever you want to call it, I think that nobody really doubts that that happened or that the drug use happened. Now, were the children actually in danger? That's going to be something that's going to really be up to, well, of course, the prosecutors, but the public opinion is going to matter here a lot more than I think than the actual legal repercussions. And the fact that the community is saying that they have these sort of concerns is a big problem for me. It's very, very concerning. And I mean, I'm going to say that, like, if you get to a position in life where your kids, or you're being taken away from your kids, you've already failed. You can make them up maybe, but like the scars are always going to be there, right? They're going to be working for the rest of their lives to come back from this. And people say maybe it's a small thing. It's just a passing problem. We don't know that yet. We haven't actually seen this. This hasn't gone to court or anything. But this is this is what's happening. Is 4 individual people in the church. It wasn't just the pastor. 4 people went to the church and said, "Hey, this is a big issue." And like maybe, I mean, me personally, I think having an additional couple in your relationship is against your duties as a parent, because as a parent, one of the things that you're responsible for doing is showing your children how to have a good relationship, and they follow after you. So if you have, the big master bedroom with all the Coke and the mini fridge, you're treating it like a hotel room, you're going in there partying, they're knocking on the door saying, "Can I have breakfast, daddy?" And then some other dude comes out, that messes you up. I'm sorry, you can't do that and have a normal family. And you might say, well, you're a prude or something, or this isn't, this is the 2024. No, like you just got to show a strong male and female nuclear family and get your kids until, like, do all this degenerate shit after your kids go to college. That's fine, but not within this age. It was reported that Nicholas is a social media blogger, and he and his wife had befriended hosts from a different local social media blogger. So that is Aaron and the Steel Toe Show. These individuals were identified as Aaron and April. Your affiant knows personally these are personalities of the Steel Toe Morning Show and used to be in St. Cloud Radio. However, as of recent years, the show has been a social media entertainment show. This is just kind of boomer speak. Of course, a lot of shows have moved over to online. It's pretty typical, right? It's strictly online based. Well, that is, it's online, it's not based. But anyway, it was reported that they may have been staying with Rekietas at their homes and was in disarray and cluttered. I think the police report, which has been shown on, other people have shown that, the police was saying that the house was dusty and dirty, there was dishes. The police maybe should not be taken on their word. We need to see some evidence of that. Like, I know that someone's going to say, this is cope, it's cope. The police are going to write probably something that's most favorable for them, because that's their job, right? Let me see. It was reported from a church preschool teacher that the children had complained of being hungry, not being fed, and wearing the same clothes for 3 to 4 days at a time, and would start to smell. Holy shit. Nick was reported to being lethargic and appeared high or drugged driving the car around. Another individual advised the reported that Nicholas will walk out randomly during sermons at church. Don't tell me it's to do a bump. And have noticed behavioral changes in him. It was alleged Kayla looked anorexic, and Nicholas had lost a substantial amount of weight recently. Yeah, I don't think anyone believed I was training, I was losing weight, and then I got sick. I lost 107. No one believed that. It's like, it's drug use, man. Come on now. It was alleged. I read that part. One individual described Nicholas of having injection tracks on his arms. Now, I don't know if I've actually seen any evidence of injecting. It's not a stretch of the imagination to think that might have been there at the time, but this could be anything. Like maybe you get like dry skin scratching under the arm sort of thing. This could be anything. There's no photos here, so I'm not going to say, like, we all know it's nose candy. Like, obviously the nose himself, he wants to use his best asset, which is the nose, hoover up all that coke. So I haven't seen any needles reported. So I think this is just kind of like a little additional detail, like, when the cops say it's smoked weed or something like that. The reporter reiterated concerns for possible neglect or controlled substance use within the home. This sounds pretty bad from the get-go. This sounds really, really bad. Track marks don't look like dry skin. That's not important here. It could be bug bites. It could just be scratching. It could be anything, right? It just could be marks on the arm. Until they find some injectable material, I may as well leave that out. But I mean, they were caught with like an ounce of cocaine, so it's not like we're arguing over such a little inconsequential thing, right? You're still wrong. Stop with the coke. Probably. Hey, look, I'm not nose guarding here, all right? I'm just telling it like I think it is. I saw red bumps on Rekieta's arms on the farms. Don't know if that's actually a symbol for drug use, but a bystander couple thinks so. I mean, the thing is, The simplest explanation is usually the correct one. And if someone has a lot of drugs and they're always high and passing out or whatever, then it's pretty likely that's probably drugs. I mean, it's probably injectables. But I'm just saying that let's still remember that it is innocent until proven guilty. Although, in my personal opinion, because I am not a lawyer, I am not doing a legal review of this, it is my personal opinion that he's absolutely guilty of being a neglectful father because he was taken into the police. He was taken into the police. That's the thing. Even if it turns out that the police they screwed up the warrant, they did all this stuff to bend the laws because they just don't like him, he still allowed his life to get to a position where he could be taken in front of his cops, in front of his children, his wife, his third person, like that. They're not going to forget that, and that is his doing. It's not the pastor, it's not the Kiwi Farms, it's not anyone online. It was his actions, his choices, and he's responsible for that ultimately. And I think that going forward, if there is a redemption path, a lot of that is going to have to come from admitting, not to the internet that he was wrong, but admitting to his family that he was wrong, apologizing, making amends to them, and obviously getting off all of these substances. Nick used to say a lot, you shouldn't apologize to a crowd. And I kind of do believe that. I don't really think there's much value in apologizing to the internet, but you always should apologize to those that you hurt in your life. And that is the children in this case, which makes this so sad. It was the pastor 100%. Well, see, one of the things is that people were saying that, like, well, the pastor, if he was told something in confidence, then he can't report it, right? But no, he has a mandatory duty to report. And he was told, not in confession by Nick, it was told by 4 different churchgoers. And it seems that the children are complaining of being hungry, smelly, the same clothes 3 days in a row. Look, kids get clothes dirty shit fast, okay? They run around, they sweat, they walk, they run around the mud. These are children aged 6 to 16, and they're just going to school or church hungry and smelly. This is ridiculous. What situation is going on here? The best thing about working on an online job is that you have time to stay home. You don't have to go to the office. You don't have to get dressed in the morning and put on your suit. You don't have to shave every morning to impress Mr. Steinbrenner or whatever, right? You can have all this extra time to spend at your home. So where's all this time going? It was going right up the nose. This is time that you should be spending with your kids. This is time that you should be appreciating what's important in life, not throwing it out the window. Now, like I said earlier, I do think that ultimately Nick's going to come out of this with a very light, whatever. He's probably going to take a deal, fine, probation, diversion, whatever, right? I don't think he's going to do jail time for this. But the damage is already done. That's the greatest punishment, though. Like, the effect that this is going to have on the kids. I think that's what a lot of the legal analysis has been missing. And obviously lawyers, like, a lot of people are being pretty critical of the lawyers, saying, like, I can't believe the lawyers are looking for ways that he can get out of it. That's their job. Everyone deserves their day in court. Everyone deserves a good defense. And these legal analysis or theory crafting is what they should be doing. That's what their legal people should be doing. But I'm not a legal person. I'm a regular guy. And quite frankly, I mean, yeah, I think you can tell how I feel. All right, we're gonna start going through Discord. All right, I'll take a quick look at Discord. Oh, okay, thank you. I'll go through that one then. Okay, thank you very much. This one is a slightly edited version, which has taken out addresses and dates. Thank you very much. I appreciate that, actually. So we're going to go through this entirety, although we probably read the juiciest part. All right, let's see. Application for search warrant. I, Quinn Polam, a licensed peace officer in the state of Minnesota, make an application to this court for a warrant to search the premises and persons described below, for the property and things described below. I know the content of this application and affirm that the statements contained in this application are true based on my own knowledge or are believed to be true. I believe that the following describe properties and things, namely controlled substances, including methamphetamines, cocaine, and any other controlled substances prohibited by law, and paraphernalia commonly associated with the sale, use of controlled substances. Items that should show controlled substances use that would not qualify. Items that would show controlled substances used that would not qualify as legal drug paraphernalia. Or the premises of this person described below, and that is Nick's address. And then Nicholas Rekieta. Located in the township of New London. Oh man, imagine going to London. In American London, it's even worse. In Minnesota. I apply for this search warrant on the following grounds. The possession of the property of the things above described constitutes a crime. The property of the things above described constitutes evidence of which tend to show a crime has been committed or tends to show the particular person has committed a crime. Now, this is interesting to me. I wonder if the reason that the drugs are named first and foremost, which I think is just, maybe this is just the easiest way to get the warrant going, because I think that the neglect is a much more serious one. And if that was what started this all, it is possible that after the complaints were made, they started watching the stream. Because everybody knows who he is. And it's a small town of like a couple thousand people, right? Maybe they started watching and they decided that would be the easier way to go through this. Maybe if some legal people show up in chat, I'll ask their opinion. But as it is right now, I find that interesting. Let's see. The facts establishing the grounds for issuance of the search warrant are as follows. Your affiant is detective, a licensed peace officer of the state of Minnesota since 2009. Your affiant has been employed by the sheriff's office since 2013. Since 2018, your affiant has been assigned to the detective division. So they actually got the detectives on. I mean, detective is kind of like, there's a lot of detectives in a police station, but whenever you hear detective, it's kind of like, you feel like it's a TV show, right? Division of full-time basis, focusing on felony level crimes, including but not limited to SA, homicide, death investigations, missing persons, fatal motor crashes, burglary, theft, harassment, stalking, assaults, controlled substances, child, SA, and financial crimes. So he does, does a bit of everything. Your affiant was assigned to the County Sheriff's Patrol Division for investigating street-level crimes, including but not limited to driving under the influence, controlled substance crimes, thefts, burglary, assaults, financial crimes, frauds, and domestic violence. This is interesting because I've actually never seen one of these before. So it is quite interesting, actually. Quite interesting. Sheesh. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how I feel. I've been feeling like that for the last week. Like, how did it all go so wrong? Because, man, there's some stuff that Rekieta used to say about how, like, this is, he would like hold up a whiskey thing. There's a clip and it says like, this is not a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just a choice. And you're in control of your decisions. And I'm not an alcoholic because I can stop anytime I want. But then he starts doing things like, oh, it's dry. Was it dry January or dry February? And it's like, well, it's only going to be dry January on shows. After shows, it doesn't matter. When you see the bargaining, it was pretty obvious then that it was an actual addiction problem. Because when you start changing your life, that's when you know that someone actually has a problem. That's when they're actually addicted. Like if you start changing how much you're going to eat so that you can fit in more alcohol, which is what he was doing. He said he was eating 600 calories a day so that he could drink more on stream, which is ridiculous. I thought that had to be a joke. There was no way, because that's just so silly. Because it doesn't matter if you're getting the calories you need every day. There is these minerals, protein, macronutrients that you need that you can only get if you eat 2,000 to 3,000 calories a day as an adult man. Like, I think Nick and I are the same height, like 6'3", 191 centimeters, right? And I'm like 200 pounds. Well, maybe 215, people will say. But he was like a stick. It was crazy. And he was making all these allowances to drink. Whiskey has calories. Yeah, it does, but they're empty calories. That's what I'm saying. You get the calories, but you don't get any of the things that you need to actually live, like for your body to replace. All right. Let me see. Where was I? Your affiant has attended hundreds of hours of training, included too, and then it's a repeat of basically what he just said before. Interesting. Aquatic death investigation. Interesting. That's an interesting little one there. Your affiant is certified in firearms instructions, SWAT team leader, cellular phone technology, mapping and analysis, less lethal munitions instructions, flash sound diversionary device instructions, chemical agent instructions, DMT operator. What is DMT? I know what one DMT is, but what is this DMT? Boat and water, ATV and snowmobile safety operator, Glock armorer, Alice instruction, and is a former drug recognition evaluator. Okay, so he's a bit of a well, he's a cop. He's just a cop, right? But it makes it sound a lot cooler than it is. All right, so that gets into the case background that we just read. So I'll skip over some of those parts, but I will go back to the highlighted parts because this is one of the important things. Jim Tells You says, this warrant is not going to hold up. They didn't have a probable cause for the search. They had speculation about possible drug use with zero witnesses to any crime with specificity. No, they had specific... They had eyewitness accounts of child neglect, which is child abuse. I mean, like I said, I think that Nick will ultimately get off with a very light sentence. I don't think he's going to do prison sentence. In fact, I've got a bet saying he won't. So hopefully Pepsi Man doesn't take my $20 he-do. So hopefully he can accept BTC because that's how I'd have to send it. Because I'm already prepared to send it at this point. But no, he did it. I mean, the child neglect did occur. Like regardless of what actually happened, if the kids were okay or they weren't okay, he neglected his duties as a father to the point where he was arrested. To the point where the kids were hungry and a strange man was cooking them food for them. Aaron, these things happened. That is it. I'm not concerned with the actual legal results of this. I'm more concerned with what actually happened and if the kids are going to be okay. Because kids, I still think that the children should be with their father. Because even if a father's done something so wrong, he's still going to provide the best thing, the best care. I mean, eventually, right? Like if he gets clean, that's obviously on the condition that he gets clean, of course. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to this one for a second, just because I'm not gonna read the entire part again. I'll just read the highlighted parts, and then we'll go back to the entire. So the case background is the reporter indicated that 4 people from the church had gone to him. So that is the pastor. 4 churchgoers had reported to him neglect to the children, possible substance use, and a questionable relationship with an additional couple. Okay, I find that this shouldn't really be included. Like this is not a crime as I understand it. I think it's degenerate, but it's kind of weird to include this in that part. Let's see. It was also, this is the thing that concerns me the most. It was reported from a church preschool teacher that the children had complained of being hungry, not being fed, and wearing the same clothes 3 to 4 days at a time and would start to smell. Now, kids get hungry in school all the time. That's actually not too crazy. But when you're hungry and you're not being fed, that's a different kettle of fish. If they are actually skipping meals, if they are skipping breakfast, like, you know, kids sometimes skip breakfast. They want to play outside in the morning instead of getting their shit together, right? Like that happens. When I was a kid, I was hungry all the time, but I was being fed. It's just because I was a growing boy. I was a growing lad. If the kids are saying I'm hungry and my parents aren't giving me food, what are they doing? Their addiction, their vices are affecting these vulnerable, innocent people, these children. And they're wearing the same clothes 3 to 4 days at a time. Sometimes kids do that, but this should be a basic thing to change every other day. Like, you know, sometimes kids like to wear the same shirt a couple of days in a row. You know, if it's jeans or something, then that's fine. That's fine. But what do they mean by this? Is it underwear? Is it like they're actually just like, you know, the younger kids are like pissing in their pants or something, and it's like the teacher can smell it? If that's the case, holy shit. All right, so that's the case background. So where do I want to jump into from? It'd be page of being hungry. Okay. So Nicholas was reported of being lethargic and appeared high or drugged driving around a car. This is actually something that concerned me a lot. Even when I was watching the show daily, even when I was a big fan, Nick would tell a lot of stories about driving really fast on these country roads. And also he would drink until the early hours of the morning, like 5 a.m. or something. And then he'd be driving around 7 a.m. I don't think that there is any reason that could be acceptable in any stretch of the imagination, because drunk drivers take so many people, innocent people, away from the world, that it really is one of the worst things you can do. Now, you know, in some countries you can have a couple drinks, so that's fine. That's fine. But this sounded really dangerous. I don't know to an extent how much he was actually doing of this. Because obviously everyone exaggerates a little bit, like, you know, oh, I drive really fast. Maybe he's just telling tall tales, you know. Maybe he's just trying to sound cool to people online. Who knows? But I was always concerned about that. I was like, I'm not so sure about that one. Like, it was like one of those stories I wish you wouldn't have told. sort of thing. That's the feeling that I got back then. Another individual advised that reported that Nick walked out randomly during sermons in church and have noticed behavioral changes in him. It was alleged Kayla looked anorexic and Nicholas had lost substantial amount of weight recently. Yes. A lot of people thought he was sick, but I think a lot of people knew he would have had an addiction. Your affiant started to review the Rekietas and Immerholt's social media blogs. Now, this is kind of interesting because one thing that a lot of the legal people say, the lawyers say, is don't self-incriminate. He was going on stream, drinking every day. That was pretty obvious. But I think to a lot of people, it was obvious that he was also on some stimulant. Because if you get drunk, you kind of just pass out, sort of thing. But he would come back and he'd be like really hyper and energetic, and yeah, I think it was pretty obvious. And I think there was some stories as well, but I think they kind of kept that stuff a bit close to their chest. Like obviously, he talked a lot about the drinking, the whiskey, and everything. Like he's a whiskey drinking lawyer, but I think it was pretty obvious. The blogs are commonly related to legal issues and high-profile trials, as Nick is a licensed attorney. Nicholas is known to drink alcoholic beverages excessively on these video blogs. I immediately noticed that Nicholas's appearance in recent months has changed. Do you, unironically, do you think that Alyssa Clips is going to come up in this? Do you think that the judge is going to see Alyssa Clips, let's see Nick from 2 years ago compared to Nick from tomorrow, and he's like, well, that proves it. That would actually be crazy if this comes out. Like, if don't spoil it for me. If it actually comes up, and I'm just going to lose my shit. It's funny, but it's not haha funny, right? In videos from January 2024 compared to May 2024, it's just like 5 months apart. Nicholas appears to have lost weight, appeared tired, and overall appears strung out, common with controlled substance users. Nick commonly refers to his studio as his basement in his own residence. Yeah, he's got like an old gun vault or something. It's kind of cool, actually. I wish I had one. Nicholas had been the victim of swatting phone calls and is known to your affiant and the county sheriffs because of these calls. When the county sheriff office responded to these calls, they were at his residence. While reviewing the social media blogs, Aaron recently indicated that he and April are getting a divorce. Aaron goes on to say that he experimented with cocaine 3 times and Molly 6 or 7 times in the past recently. Is this the American? It has to be the American one. It's so weird to put December 1st. Like, it's like big number, small number, big number. Come on now, American. On December 19th, 2023, is it Imholt or Imholte? I think it's Imholte, right? Imholte. I'll just say Aaron from now on. On December 19th, Aaron broadcasted a podcast from Rekieta's studio, with the podcast being named Live from Spicer, Steel Toe Morning Show, December 19th. Throughout Aaron's video blogs, it is apparent that they and the Rekietas were friends, and may have recently had a falling out. I believe that this is the stream where Nick comes up shirtless and licks Aaron on the face. If it's Imholt, I'm just going to say Aaron. I'm terrible with names. It should be noted that the recent videos of Aaron's, April has at times appeared tired, lethargic, and strung out as well. Imhotep? They aren't mummies, you mongo? I was thinking that. I was thinking of Imhotep. I think I saw someone say that as well. Aaron, I'm going to call him that from now on. Aaron Imhotep. Because actually, The Mummy is one of my favorite movies. The Mummy Returns. Great film. Great films. It should be noted in recent videos that April has appeared tired and strung out. Okay. In both Nick and Aaron's video blogs from Rekieta Studio, it is apparent that they are in the same room and the items in the background appear the same. At one point during Aaron's video, Nick walks into the background and grabs an item, which would show that the background is not a backdrop curtain, and that is the layout of the actual room. So it's not a green screen. That's what they're saying here. It's kind of a weird thing to put into were they assuming that like all the whiskey bottles and everything was just like some artwork or something? I don't think that's really important to this case, because I think Nick's streaming room from the side that you see looks pretty good. I mean, it's got an interesting background. It's kind of neat, right? Like he's got some paintings that allegedly cost. There's one painting in there that allegedly cost one local's 5K subscriber gift around $30,000-$40,000. I'm sure that's coming very soon. Just make sure you've got your addresses open. That'll be there pretty soon. It's going to be sooner now, right? Because he's going to have more free time, allegedly. But no, he has some expensive artwork that he buys at charity streams and things like that. I'm not sure why that is included in this, though. I guess maybe detective is just trying to show that he's done something, right? Like trying to fill out some words here or something. Who can say? On May 22nd, Aaron did a video blog where he talked about Nick and insinuated controlled substance use, and also referenced a video blog. I'm just going to say video because they're not blogs, in which Nick put online on the 21st that had since been taken off the internet. I think this is the one where I think this is literally the Anime Copes. What is it? Anime Sucks Cope and Sneed stream, because I think that's the only recent video that I know that has been taken off the line, right? Aaron indicated in his blog that Nick needs help and needs to get help for his kids because of his substance abuse. One thing that I've heard Aaron talking about, and like, I don't know if this is true because it comes from Aaron, and I think Aaron is in a position where he's going to lie to benefit himself. I think a lot of what he does say is true, but obviously he's going to try and make him sound better, and he's going to grift a bit, because this is probably the most notoriety he's going to get in his career, honestly. Like, it's going to be hard to top this. But one thing that Aaron said is that the Rekieta children, would actually message him saying, like, mom and dad are fighting, can you stop it? Or, you know, could you make us some food, sort of thing, when they're not even at the house, which is ridiculous. If you're these sort of claims they're not substantiated by any evidence. But reading from this article, it's not hard to believe that they are true, especially if they're in the house for so long, like living multiple days in their apartment. It's weird. Aaron points out the time in the video where Nick has a white powdery substance in his nose. Now, I know the clip that they're talking about. It's not confirmed that he actually has white shit on his nose, but it's my opinion that he does, right? He does come back from a break, not the 45-minute break, but the shorter break, and it looks like whiter on the tip of his nose. It could be the lighting. It's not impossible, but I think given what we know, the nose knows, and it's probably some white, it could be sugar donuts. You never know. Most likely it isn't, though. The simplest answer is usually the correct one. On May 22nd, your affiant was able to review the video that was taken off of Nick's YouTube and Rumble social media sites. Did they literally get this from Alyssa Clips or the farms? Oh my goodness. If they were able I guarantee you they're like downloading this direct from Alyssa. She's like uploading the, like, oh no, is Anime Copes, Anime Sucks Cope and Sneed, and it's like, here you go, officer. I guarantee you. Like, the funny thing is, like, the clip channels, so back a while ago, the clip channels were getting under a little bit of fire. They were getting under a bit of fire because, is clipping transformative content? And the argument of whether it is or it isn't actually important, because Nick just gave permission to say, clip anything you want of mine, I don't care. And then the rest of LawTube sort of took, they took that as the standard of what you should do with clipping. And I think there was like Divinity, and there was like a big thing with Kurt, Uncivil Law. He got in a little bit of trouble for taking down something that was obviously transformative, like the Datamax video of Kurt's. That is obviously transformative. Clipping, I'm not convinced is transformative. So they probably could DCMA clip channels if they wanted to, but that's not important because they gave permission to clip everything. So I'm wondering if that was one of the key mistakes that has been made in the past. Maybe you take the L on saying, please don't clip my content, and then later you don't have all this self-incrimination on the internet. Let's continue. Let us continue. The video from the 21st, the video is from the 21st of May, and is of Nick in his basement talking about court appeal ruling that he lost. So that is the Montegraph lawsuit, who apparently, so the civil case he has of defamation against Montegraph, apparently the court judge is the same one that's presiding over his felony matter, which is pretty crazy because he mocks her in that video. Like he says some crazy shit, like something about drinking alcohol out of a vag or something. I don't know. It's insane. It's insane. Not a good idea, honestly. Not a good idea to talk shit about the person that might be able to Parallax shadowban. Is that true? Meme, would you please pay attention to Parallax's comments? Is he shadowban? No, I can see him. I can see him right there. He's not shadow banned. Just change your comments to live comments instead of top comments. If it's top, some of your things will be excluded. If you change to live, you get all the good shit. So change it to live. Say hi in chat and like the video because it helps me out. You know, a lot of people, you don't have to give anything. I do this for free. But if you do want to like the video, that goes a long way. I'll quickly check Discord. What is this? I'll read this at the end. Okay. I'm kind of in my stride at the moment. Let me see. Let's see. He appears in the video to be drinking alcoholic beverages and appears under the influence of a substance or substances. The entire video is 4 hours and 4 minutes long, approximately 2:46 into the video, or 2 minutes 46. I thought this was going to be 2:46 a.m., but I'm not sure. I think he streams like late at night, like 1 a.m. or something, doesn't he? Into the video, Nick leaves to go use the restroom. He returns approximately 4 minutes later. He appears to be making an excited look and has a white powdery substance on his nose. Your affiant believes this behavior is indicating of central nervous system stimulants, CNSS. Your affiant believes, based on the training experience as well as the behavior of Nick, behavior of Nick, that he ingested his white powdery substance through his navel cavity off stream. Now, that's what Aaron was saying. Aaron was saying that they were snorting so much coke that they had like an entire bin full of these bloody tissues, and that's why Nick has been having all these nasal infections. Hey, Xkumer, we were just talking. I was talking about you the other day. I was like wondering where you were. Glad to see you're okay. Also, member for 18 months. Thank you very much. And Yuki says, please pay attention to parallax. Is it really important? Do I need to pay attention to parallax? All right, what do I say about this? What I look in Discord or in the stream chat? Where should I look? You have my attention. I'll finish this paragraph, and then I'll read the comments. Okay, we'll take a quick comment break. So that's we might even take a look at the clip, and we'll let the chat judge for themselves if they think that he had the nose candy. Your affiant believes his behavior indicates the central nervous stimulants. Your affiant believes, based on his training and experience as well as the behavior, that he ingested this white powdery substance through his navel cavity while off camera. Your affiant knows through training and experience that ingested controlled substances through the navel cavity is common amongst controlled substance users and often referred to as snorting. Your affiant also noted that throughout the video, Nick is under the influence of the substance to the point where he has to close one eye to read this stream. That's happened to me before. I've had quite a few drinks before, and I had to close one eye. It's when that's when you're really messed up and you've gone too far. But I only ever did alcohol, so there you go. Let's see. So he has to close one eye to read the stream, rambles, and slows his speech. Nick would obviously not be able to care for his children in this state of intoxication. I mean, perhaps yes, but I believe this is also happening at like 2 a.m. So Nick, allegedly, the kids should be in bed by now, right? They should be in bed by now. So this is kind of like, I don't see the point of adding this into it. I mean, it does make his case sound better, which is, of course, what he has to do. All right, I'll read the chat now, and we're going to take a look at that video. Meme, would you please pay attention to Parallax's comment? All right, what is this? Okay, this one? And this one? I assume this is one. So it's a message from Uncivil Law. I don't think in my chat, though. He says, I don't think Uncivil Law is here, right? No, I don't think so. No, he's not. Here's a quick tip. If you want to check if someone's hiding in your chat, you can @ them. So if I go @ the expert, I can see the experts in chat. See? Hi, expert. How's it going? You can do that to see if anyone's lurking. It's a neat little tip. But Uncivil Law says, this looks ... bad. I don't think he will go to jail if he plays his cards right, but he's losing his kids for a year until he's clean. Oh, that sucks. And it is wrong for the law community to back Nick 100% when you know there was a neglect of his children. The warrant looks solid according to legal, uncivil law. Now, I'm going to take some umbrage with this statement that it is wrong for the law community to back Nick. Lawyers routinely back bad people. That is the majority of criminal defense, right? Is everybody deserves a lawyer to defend them, okay? And moreover, people in LawTube are his friend. So it makes perfect sense that they will defend him, right? If they were like strangers, they didn't know him, it's fine for them to morally judge him. I mean, they're going to judge him secretly as well anyway. Rekieta Law isn't in the chat. I very much doubt that is the case. Yeah, he's not. You guys are trolling me. Look, here's how it works, okay? If you at someone, so at the expert, you see their name pops up. If their name doesn't pop up like this, then they're not in the chat. That's how it works, okay? You can't just at them and then just see if it pops up later. That's how it works, okay? But the warrant looks solid according to Uncivil Law. I'm not sure where this stream is. Maybe this is like from a different stream. Who can say? Who can say? We'll take a quick. All right, what is this? So this is also from the Farms from 9 minutes ago. Details from Rekieta's case got worse from a constitutional perspective. Basically, 4 church members who were mad Rekieta walked out of sermons, got the pastor Rekieta made fun of to make a complaint of child neglect and possible drug use. Nick also made some jokes about passing kids around at church, which probably didn't go over very well. That's not a Fourth Amendment complaint, probable cause. The Rekieta search warrant is a joke. Basically, the local cops' only investigation was to watch social media, listen to gossip, and medically diagnose Rekieta from an isolated video to get a search warrant. Okay, so the two which way Western man. So obviously, it's kind of weird. This is kind of weird, but looks like Barnes is not on the same side that Uncivil Law is on at the moment. Interesting. Now, lawyers, if you have lawyers in any courtroom, I was going to say classroom, it's more or less the same thing. Of course, they're going to have 2 different opinions because that's their job. And I think Barnes wants to represent, or has suggested that he could represent Nick. So that is something to keep in mind. I don't know if I agree with Barnes, though. Like gossip from the church. If the people are actually complaining that the children are being neglected, I'm not sure if that's gossip so much as a legitimate concern. Now, it may turn out that like sometimes you have these situations where kids say, "Oh, I'm hungry, I'm not getting fed," and they actually are. Sometimes they tell tales. You never know, but it doesn't look good. And I'm assuming that those church members probably knew what they were talking about. I'll say that. Meggle says for $2 Australian. What did you do to Parallax? I've been neglecting him. I think I got all of the things, though. All of the things. I think I ignored that. All right, let's see. It should be noted that your affiant was a drug recognition evaluator for several years, and based on your affiant's training experience, the behavior Nick had in his video blog indicates polysubstance abuse, meaning it is believed that he's ingesting more than one substance based on his behavior. I mean, they found Molly, cocaine, and ketamine pills, I think, which is kind of crazy. I ignored the Jamaican hookers comments. Look, there's like just under 500 people here. If I miss a comment, I'm trying to read. You guys say I can't read, but I've got one eye going this way to the chat and one eye going this way to the document. What do you want from me? Okay. If you want to repost your comment, let me know. Okay. But yes, I did see Camelot's stream earlier where he talked a bit about Nick being addicted to hookers, which in retrospect makes perfect sense. Because once he was talking on a stream and he let slip, he's like, I'm wasting time on stream. Do you know I could be in Minneapolis getting hand job massages or something? And he's like, but he was like, it was like a slip of the tongue, and he kind of was like, he's like, I could be getting happy ending. I mean, it was kind of like really pretty obvious what he meant, and that it was a slip there, that he kind of exposed himself. So it's not unbelievable that is the case. Whether it's Jamaican hookers, I'm not sure about that. I mean, he was following, I think, like local OnlyFans or strippers or ladies of the evenings on his local Instagram. But you'd have to go to the farm for more detail on that. I mean, I lurk from time to time, but I'm not like an expert, or I don't even have an account. So I just read it when I get bored sometimes. Although I haven't been bored this week, I'll tell you that. Holy shit. I linked a clip just a few seconds to your Twitter stream. All right, take a look at this. Is this the... All right, I'll take a look at this, Midnight King. I'll take a look at this. This is the Camelot clip. Oh, wait, have I got the audio one? No, I got it in the audio one. There we go.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's like, I'll quit when I can. And I know for a fact He's addicted to fucking Jamaican hookers. Look, this is common knowledge. Okay.
I'm not sure if that's common knowledge. Jamaican as a I mean, it's pretty hard to walk back that statement. If you say, like, you can't really walk this one off as a joke, right? Like, I know for a fact he is addicted to hookers, Jamaican hookers. But anyway, like, I mean, the thing is, if Nick was a single man, then I wouldn't have a problem with these sort of things, right? But he's the father. But I want to go to Alyssa for a second. Alyssa clips. There we go. Here we go. Let me see. I want to see the snort. I want to. Oh shit! She's got, like, holy crap. She's been working overtime. I hope she gets paid for this. Let me see. Holy crap! There's so many videos. Let me see. There's that one. I want to see the powdered nose. Does it? If maybe I could, like, leverage the chat for a moment. Could someone find me the clip where he goes to the bathroom and then he comes back and he's got the white substance on his nose? That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. Let's see. Where were we? That's the end of the... I think this is kind of the end of the thing, though. Let me see. Your affiant believes that the reports of neglect and controlled substances use are consistent with the previously mentioned information. Your affiant is requesting to search their house for the listed above items in relation to the welfare of the children, home, and in relation to the controlled substance investigation. Your affiant also is requesting to search Nick himself. I request that the search warrant be issued, commanding Quinn Pom. I don't know. That's a weird name. Then there's the name of all the officers, peace officers of Minnesota State, and any other authorized persons to enter and search between the hours of 7 a.m. and 8 p.m. So he'll be asleep during that time. That's a good choice. Actually, I think they caught up when he was driving. Which makes sense. Like, if you think that someone has guns and substance abuse, you want to wait till they leave the house, and then you kind of arrest them when they're in the car, and then you take them back to the house. There was a bit of confusion when Nick was arrested because they catch him on the road, but then they go to the house and he refuses to give them the door code, which some people are saying is he's trying to do because he wants them to bust down the door so that it can make it sound that he never gave any consent in any way, shape, or form. Let me see. I declare under penalty of perjury that everything is stated is true and correct. Merkins sent it to me. Thank you very much, Merkins. All right. We'll take a look. Here it is. It was called Powdering His Nose.
Yep. He actually just had
this
time. He didn't.
This is a clip from Matty Internet.
He had to do a bump. That's it.
Can you wear one during the box?
Okay, you can kind of see it here. It's a little bit subtle. I'll try and put this up to the maximum quality. And we'll take a look.
He actually just had to pee this time. He didn't. He had to do.
I mean, to me, this absolutely looks like a white substance.
A bump. That's it.
I'll put a poll in chat. Let's see. Is that white powder what we think it is? Yes, no. Light stream. There we go. All right, let's take a look.
During the boxing match. Yes, it's white. It's who white? It's so white when I wear one of those.
I mean, like, some of the people have said that because crack break. Some people have said because there's nothing white in his beard, that shows that it couldn't possibly be. I don't think so, because they said that they had, like, cocaine tools or equipment in the house. So it's probably like the little spoon, so it puts it up the spoon. You could easily get it not on your mustache.
Hoodies, and I go to Chicago. I just kneel on black people all the time. So I do. Anyway, I tried to find it. I tried to find my white Nationalist Medicare Fuentes hoodie, and I didn't have it in my closet. What am I, Eminem? Like, I used to have cool stuff in my closet, and now all I have is woke bullshit. I talking to Lady Raggers. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's my white hoodie? She's like, you wore a white hoodie? I don't know, maybe. I was in Tennessee. I don't know what.
I don't think I can watch too much more of this stand-up routine or whatever he wants to call it. I think there was a comparison. The ceiling cat, nice. Love the little ceiling cat. Was there a comparison of before he went to the bathroom or not? Let's see.
Please, God, please don't make fun of me.
accidentally slammed his brake button. What the fuck?
Not the peeing lawyer song. I'm not peeing again.
I mean, he's guilty. He's guilty in a court of law, but I think to me that's like 100% confirmed on that one. As I said, I'm not a lawyer, so I don't have to follow their rules, and I don't have to assume innocent until proven guilty. I'm a regular dude. I can certainly judge people in the court of public opinion because that's all that I have. Why can't Mexicans spell corn? I have so many questions. That's a good question. Let's see. So the search warrant. Is this the same one? Wait, is this just okay, so this is application for search warrant. Okay, so this is a little bit different. That's the application. This is the actual search warrant. To Quim, who's the officer. Let's see. The residence has a tar driveway leading east. The residence is 2 stories with a 3-stall garage, or car hole, as we call it in Australia. The main door is located on the south side of the residence. Nick is located in the township of where he lives, state of Minnesota, for the following prescribed property and things: controlled substances. So this is what they issued it for. They opted it for controlled substances, including methamphetamine, cocaine, and any controlled substance prohibited by law and paraphernalia commonly associated with the sales and use of controlled substances. So basically, they got exactly what they asked for. Wherein the officer was duly presented and read by the court and being fully advised on the premises. Now, thereafter, the court finds the probable cause exists for the issuance of a search warrant upon the following grounds: possession and property of the things above constitutes a crime, and the property of things above described constitutes evidence which tends to show a crime has been committed or tends to show that a particular person has committed a crime. The court further finds that probable cause exists to believe that the above described property and thing or things is or are at the above described premises. There we go. And I believe there is some receipts. They got receipts. Let's take this out. Nick saved Vic from the burden of having $250,000. I think like one of the things that really I heard that, like, I don't know if it's true because it's like from Aaron, but he said that one of the things that Nick said was that he used to talk about Vic saying like, oh, I don't like Vic because he's a bit of a fancy boy, and it's his fault that everything went tits up in the court case. Because I do remember during the Vic Mignogna trial, Nick was watching the deposition of Vic Mignogna, and there's a point where he's just saying like, say no, say no, say no, and then Vic says yes, and he's like, oh no. If that's true, that's really, really sad, because like Vic could have avoided this entire fiasco, paying, what is it, Monica Riol, Ron Toye, and Jamie Markey. Like, was it like, I think it's more than $250,000. I think with fines and interest, is like, isn't it like $400,000 or something? I'm not sure about that. Maybe it was just the GoFundMe was like $250,000, but I think his court fees were actually higher than that because he has to pay for his lawyers as well as their lawyers. All right, let's see. Receipt of inventory and return. Okay, let's see. All right. Oh god, I have to look at someone's handwriting. What the fuck is this? 1 short tube of cocaine, black vial, white substance, 2 credit cards registered to April. I have no idea what this says. Holy shit. Wait, you can highlight. Can I copy this? Do they recognize that as words? Can computers? when I paste it into my search bar, it says FFLC CAFI. I don't know what that is. I don't know. Someone will have to illuminate me on that one. Holy handwriting. Oh, 22 spent casing. Yes. Okay, 22 spent casing. I guess you could probably determine this from the charging document, right? Sig Sauer, that's the gun that he had, AR. Glass containing something, I'm not sure. On the dresser, let's see. Bag with cards and cocaine, white powder, baggies, Ziploc. Well, that's just all the stuff that they found. As well as detailed items. We have the digital scale. Let me see. White powdery substance, scooper, 2 baggies, and then the guns and stuff. Okay, so that's pretty much, it's all the stuff that we expected, right? All right. So there you have it. pretty. I think this is pretty damning. I think it'd be very hard to to support these sort of things at the moment. What? I am here. No. I think those comments are from who's streaming? Who else is streaming with us? I guess Andrew. He's the only person that's up, I think. All right. Yeah, this looks really bad, honestly. I don't care about the drug shit. I don't care about the swinging shit. It's not for me, but you know, people are allowed to do what they want. But the responsibilities of a parent, putting these children into situations that is going to probably fuck them up, seeing like your mom or your dad hanging around with this other woman or other man, all manner hours of the day or night, like cooped off your mind, not feeding them when appropriate, not doing the dishes, not cleaning their clothes. Like that's pretty abhorrent, honestly. It's pretty disgusting. If it is true. Of course, this is the police's side of the stories. We have not heard Nick's side of the story just yet. It's worth keeping that in mind, but it does look pretty bad. It does look pretty bad. With all that said and done, I think that we've reached the end of this document. And it looks like that Andrew is going over this on his stream. So I think I'll throw you over to him, as he can probably give you a better legal analysis. Check DMs. All right, check this one. All right, what is this? I think I'll send you over to him in just a second. So be sure to say hi to him. I am here. I am so shocked and disheartened. This has moved to a new level. So even looks like Uncivil Law has decided that he's no longer a Baldo washer, and he has finally decided the children are more important than his buddy getting off. But yeah, if there's anything that's like worth commenting on this case, I'll come back to it. I'm not going to do like a stream every day about this. I find it pretty sad and very disappointing as someone that I used to really respect and enjoy as an entertainer. He was a good entertainer. He really was. There's some more stuff. All right, I'll check out these things in a moment. We're kind of winding down though. Let's see. Sean Ritter says, LordTube Sean, Rekieta, Barnes, foreign program. Sounds like the child welfare was used as a pretext to search for contraband to me. Search should have stopped once the children were accounted or otherwise. No, they saw Nick displaying signs of drug use and used the streams as proof. Nick fucked himself, according to potentially Sean. Rob Barnes says, you're a grifting joke. Stick to analyzing anime. And then Sean responds, anime sucks. Go for Sneed. Holy shit, that's funny. So it looks like we've got a bit of a LawTube civil war going on. Look, I'm gonna go with my man Sean on this one. Barnes, I think Barnes is kind of, well, he wants to represent Nick, and look, the kids are the most important thing. That's what's important, and yeah, it'd be pretty hard. Of course, Nick deserves his day in court. Of course, he deserves his day in court, innocent until proven guilty. But if this is true, then Nick is worse than any of the people who's criticized on his channel. Like some people have said, like a lot of people have said on Twitter, on YouTube and everything, that how dare you go after the Baldo man? How dare you? He created this sector. He's your friend. He does all these things, right? But Nick started his channel as essentially a bullying channel. And I don't have a problem with that. I found the bullying hilarious. He bullied Maddox, who deserved it, honestly. He bullied Russell Greer, who deserved it, honestly. He bullied Rontoye, Monica Rawle, and all the enemy people, who deserved it, honestly. It's funny. But he was never a nice guy. He was never a guy that was like an upstanding gentleman, defender of the weak. He's always been a bit of a troll. And it's always been about making fun of people. All of LawTube is essentially making fun of other people. They watch trials at people at their worst. Why is it that you can watch Johnny Depp at his worst, Amber Heard at her worst, shitting on the bed, but you can't criticize Rekieta for these obvious mistakes? Like, look, Amber Heard may have shit on the bed. She may have cut Johnny Depp's finger. But as far as I know, she never harmed or endangered a child. So who's really like honestly, think about it. I know that a lot of people like Rekieta, and that's fine. If you like him, if you like his content, that's fine. I used to really enjoy the content. It changed, and now I can't watch it. And I mean, what else is there to say about that? So with that, I'll now, I think, stop rambling on. I might I might think about this a bit more and see where we want to go. But I'll send you over to Andrew. Be sure to like his stream. Say hi for me. And who says you can't criticize Rekieta? A lot of people have been saying that. Not me, though. Everyone is open to criticism, even your friends. And especially sometimes you need your friends to criticize you. Redirect. I mean, I hope this works out the best. And I hope these things aren't true. But it's time to face facts, right? Unless he has some proof showing that these are all lies. I mean, it's pretty much over, right? Megal says the $2, sorry. Who are these guests in chat nose guarding? Look, there's a lot of people in my channel that like Nick. And that's, like I said, there's a lot of LordTube fans on my channel. And they're welcome here. You know, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But I think there's just no argument to say that Rekieta is a good guy if he's already failed in his duties as a father. And I can't say anything worse than that, really. So I think we'll end it there. Hopefully your day's better than mine. And peace.